What's up, guys? Do you have issues with memory? Are you an aspiring personal trainer and you tried taking the NASM-CPT exam and failed? Or are you like me that you have an ADHD brain and it's just really hard to take tests? If that's the case, then this is the video for you. I'm going to show you exactly what I did wrong the first 2 times I took the National Academy of Sports Medicine CPT exam and failed, and exactly what I did different the 3rd time and got a successful passing grade. Let's go. Alright guys, so let's start at the very beginning. I started training years ago, but I actually enrolled into the National Academy of Sports Medicine in 2017. So I got a package, I believe at the time it was about like $1,300, something like that, and I got access to their website. I got the textbook to the 6th edition. But yeah, so 2017, I register, I'm hyped, like I'm excited to work in the fitness industry, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, on attempt number 1, I failed miserably. I probably got like a 60 percentile or something like that. I just didn't respect the exam, and I didn't study the way I should have at all. Thought I would have been able to like rely on some type of memorization because it was multiple choice. No. If you're choosing to get a certification with either ACE or NASM, you need to understand the principles and concepts in these books. Now, attempt number 2 came a little bit later. I actually have one of the receipts that they give you, and in this actual attempt was in 2018. So actually, I think this was the first attempt. In 2018, I got a score of 59. Yeah, because the one after that, I got a 65. In the second attempt, I got a higher score than the 59 that I have here in this paper. But again, I didn't truly understand the concepts. Like, I was doing reading and more memorization, but I didn't understand the concepts, and I didn't truly understand the assessment grids. Like, you need to know the assessment grids. You need to know the overhead squat assessment inside and out. Like, even to this day, if I think overhead squat assessment, free pronate out, I could automatically tell you overactive, soleus, gastroc centimus, bicep femoris short head, underactive, medial gastroc, medial hamstring, gracilis sartorius popliteus. It's like cemented in my head. I just had to repeat that over and over and over again. So you need to know the pronation distortion syndrome, you need to know the upper cross syndrome, you need to know the lower cross syndrome, and you need to know the overhead squat. What helped me with that specific part is knowing what muscles are always going to be overactive and what muscles are always going to be underactive. So like when it comes to the glutes, glute medius, glute maximus, that is never going to be an overactive muscle. So automatically, if you see a question that states while assessing for overhead squat assessment that client's back starts to round, what muscles are probably overactive? That's a literal question they'll ask you. If you see glutes, you're not going to pick glutes for overactive because you know underactive is always going to be glutes. On the flip side, the lateral gastroc is always going to be overactive, but we don't have to go into that detail. But you need to know the overhead squat assessment, know the pronation distortion syndrome, know the upper cross syndrome, and know the lower cross syndrome. Now, let's go into exactly what I did on the 3rd time, right? So the first time, I didn't do much studying at all. Thought I was gonna rely on memorization, didn't work. Number 2, I studied a little bit more, but I was just focusing on memorization, and I didn't really understand the concepts. Like when it comes to concepts like synergistic dominance, you need to actually understand that's when a prime mover is overactive and a synergistic muscle, an assistant muscle, is going to take over the job of the prime mover. Like, you need to actually know that concept. You can't just like memorize it. You need to know reciprocal inhibition. You need to know synergistic dominance. These are all concepts that you need to have like a true understanding of. So what helped me with that are the videos. I can't teach you how anybody else passed the test, but I can teach you how I passed the test. And the way that I passed the test exactly is using NASM's website. So if you have a package with NASM that doesn't include their website, this might not be the video for you, because the way that I passed this test is, one, taking the practice test in the domains. What I did is I took these domain practice tests over and over and over and over again, and every time I got questions incorrect, I copied down and wrote down the right answers to the question. And then over time, every time I got that question again in one of the exams, I automatically knew it, And I did that time. I must have taken those practice exams maybe like 100 times. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the portion of the video where I'm gonna show you on the actual NASM site exactly what I did, what I studied for, and how to cover it. Alright guys, so here we're on NASM's website. If you buy a package that gives you NASM's portal, this will be the opening page when you get to the site. So we're going to go to courses, and we're going to go to CPT guided study. Boom. Now once you get here, you're going to have many options, right? Now you have all these modules. Each module breaks down a different chapter. Now when I first started taking the test, this is what I focused on. I would open up a chapter and I would read the whole chapter. If you take this approach, it's just way too much information. It is overkill. So now on this third time that I took the test, I went directly to study guide. Now, if you look on study guide, here at the top you got NASM-CPT guide and then knowledge check. We're not going to go there first. Below that you have domain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Each domain breaks up a certain amount of chapters. So domain 1 encompasses 17% of what's going to be on your exam, which covers everything between chapters 2 through 5, 17, and 18. So if you go to the domain study guide, it really condenses everything and gives you the most important stuff. Like stuff like this, you need to know that endomysium is the most internal part of the muscle. So if they ask you what's the deepest part of muscle, you need to know endomysium, right? That's something that I did. Everything that's in the domains is what's the most important and crucial for you to know. You go back to the study guide, you have a domain quiz. Now, we're going to look at domain 1. Look at these are all times that I took the practice test and either failed or passed. So the first time, I only got a 12 out of 20. So what I would do here, they show you each question that you got wrong. So I would literally highlight the entire question and then paste it on one of my notes. Just copy and paste all the incorrect questions, copy them down on my notes, and then write down the actual correct answer, which is highlighted in yellow. Until I could take each domain's quiz and score at least 18, I was not satisfied, and I literally did that for each and every domain. The study guide and the domains are the most important thing you want to focus on when you're studying for your test. And then finally, once you feel you got this locked, you got two options. You got the knowledge check, or you could go over here and do the midterm or the final. Now, believe this or not, I never did the final. I never did any of these final exams, but what I did do is I did the midterm. When I go to my midterm, I failed miserably the first time, so I got a 39 out of 60 the first time. I got all these red questions, 39 out of 60, only got a 65, which is failing. You need a 70 or higher to pass the NASM test. So then I took it again, and then the second time I did it, I got a really good score. I got a 95. So that's when I got a lot more confidence, and then finally I went to the knowledge check. On May 29th, 2021, I did the knowledge check and I was scheduled to take the test the next day, and I rescheduled it because I was not satisfied with this score. So I studied a bunch more, took a bunch more domain quizzes, and then on this last one, I got a 91 out of 100. So once I got this score, that's when I knew I was confident and ready to take the test. Alright guys, I hope that screen recording of the NASM website and exactly the approach I took to passing the exam was helpful. If you're like me and fitness is your passion, do not settle for a lesser certification, because NASM is the gold standard in the fitness industry, and it will reflect positively on you when you start going to these gyms, because these gyms understand that NASM is the gold standard and it is not easy to pass this test. So again, I hope my approach was helpful. I'm pretty sure I forgot something. If you have any question, leave them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to help any one of you, because if fitness is your passion like it's my passion, there is no other option. So taking this test was absolutely necessary for me. It was on my vision board. It's all I thought about for the past 3 months, especially after failing twice. Hope this was helpful. If you enjoy this type of content or enjoy the content that I have on my fitness channel, please consider subscribing, like the video, and know what you think in the comments below. Keep on crushing it. I'll look forward to seeing you guys at the top. And as always, your insecurities. Peace.